Get ready. Get set. It's time for the Basement View. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Man, glad to be here. Absolutely. It's a good day. It's warming up a bit. Glad about it. I gotta tell you, I'm glad about it. Whew, almost through January. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait. Man, almost February. Get through February, we almost got it licked. What's up, James? How's it going? Everything good? I would appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up for me. Subscribe. Get that algorithm working. So far, so good, huh? I feel you. I'm feeling the same way. So far, so good. Hey, Charles, what's happening? Hey, just FYI, just getting this just now. Apparently, one of them fools that Donald Trump pardoned done got himself shot down in Jasper County in Indiana. Jasper County Sheriff then killed that fool. He then went down there and got his guns back on him and ran across the wrong county sheriff. Don't you just hate it? So his name was Matthew Huddle. Matthew W. Huddle, 42-year-old. Donald Trump just pardoned him, and the county sheriff down in Jasper County just unalived him. Now, I hate to be laughing about that, but anyway. Hey. Yeah, plenty more. Yeah, plenty more. Absolutely, Charles. ICE was in Chicago over the weekend, scaring the hell out of the immigrants in Chicago and rounding them up. I got my thoughts on that. But what you say, James? Way to go, huh? Well, yeah. Hey, if you're acting a fool, And that's pretty unusual considering, down there where he was, he's subject to be buddy-buddy with the cops down there. So he must have been acting up pretty bad. And yeah, ICE doing their thing, man. They, here's the killer. They were rounding up people in Chicago, and I happened to notice, hey, Lisa, how you doing? I happened to notice while they was rounding folks up in Chicago, they had Dr. Phil with them. Now, I wonder what that's all about. They had old Dr. Phil with them. If you don't believe me, I'm going to watch this clip.
Good evening. I'm Erica Sargent.
Great to have you with us. I'm Joe Donlin. We begin with breaking news. Targeted immigration arrests are underway in Chicago today with top Trump administration officials in town to oversee it all.
From the law enforcement carrying out the operations to concerns in the community, we have team coverage tonight, beginning here with our Sabrina Franza. Sabrina.
Erica, one of the president's many campaign slogans was promises made, promises kept. Now, after months of vowing to deport undocumented immigrants from Chicago, we have our first images of immigration and customs enforcement here in our city.
Border Czar Tom Homan is in Chicago, accompanied by other federal agencies which were also recently given immigration-related powers. The DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, among others, all working with ICE to assist in their deportation
on the right.
mission. Homan spoke about that mission earlier today.
But you're going to see the numbers steadily increase, the number of arrests nationwide as we open up the aperture. Right now it's concentrating public safety threats, national security threats. That's a smaller population.
Multiple sources tell CBS News Chicago that ICE is focusing right now on those who have active warrants. In a statement from ICE, they said in part, quote, the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, along with federal partners, began conducting enhanced targeted operations today in Chicago to enforce U.S. immigration law and preserve public safety and national security by keeping potentially dangerous criminal, they say, aliens out of our communities. Governor J.B. Pritzker has said he supports any mission to remove convicted criminals who are undocumented.
And if that's who they're picking up, we're all for it.
But expressed his concern that the Trump administration will not stop there.
What they're also doing, though, and it's quite disturbing, is they're going after people who are law-abiding, who are holding down jobs, who have families here, who may have been here for a decade or 2 decades, and they're often our neighbors and our friends. And why are we going after them? These are not people who are causing problems in our country, and what we need is a path to citizenship for them.
Tom Homan confirmed other undocumented individuals would be subject to their deportation efforts. He said today, quote, if you're in the country illegally, you're on the table. Now, we don't know the identities of those detained today or how many have been taken into custody. Joe, Erica.
All right, Sabrina, thank you.
Well, isn't that special? I don't know how many of you saw him, but that was Dr. Phil in the background. For some reason, he was allowed to ask the detainees questions. And I don't know what that was all about, you know? Why was Dr. Phil there? That's unusual. And probably going to use it on the show to promote Donald Trump, you know. Unfortunately, we got those out there that'll do that. So I got my thoughts on this, you know, especially considering, you know, he got into a little tiff with the president of Colombia also over the weekend, because he just decided to send planes to Colombia without telling them anything. Did I have cameras behind him, maybe trying to make a documentary or something? He may have been. He may have been trying to make a documentary. That could be it. I didn't think of that. You know? That's a very good point. But why would Dr. Phil, you know, I mean, I don't know, of course, but Dr. Phil making an immigration documentary? Could be. Unfortunately, you know, knowing Dr. Phil, it's some publicity shit, you know. That's just what he's usually up to. So, yeah. And again, I got mixed thoughts on the whole thing. I don't think, you know, I don't think they should be running around in the urban areas. The ICE team has arrested Native American and arrested a veteran and told the veteran his ID was fake. Did they do that? Damn. Yeah, I heard that they had, I didn't want to say for sure, but I heard that they had arrested a couple of Puerto Ricans and was talking about sending them back. Wow. See, well, that's what happens when, you send a crew out, a wrecking crew out. And a lot of these guys, they don't pay no attention to no kind of a standard or anything. They just going, wherever they got a list. And something else. This is something else that's pretty sad. I'm also told that there are those that work around some of these immigrants, Caucasian and Latino, who have been calling in and ratting them out. I'm gonna say ratting them out because when you calling in on somebody, that's it, ratting them out. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't feel bad about ratting out somebody that's committing a real crime. But if the dude was relatively cool dude and just earned a living, yeah, but there is the thing that they're here illegally. That's the whole crux of it. And the one argument that some have is the ones who come illegally are cutting the line in front of the ones who are trying to get papers to come legally. That's one argument I heard the other day, and it kinda made sense. And if you outside of the country and trying to get in legally, and somebody just walked past you, that is kind of like cutting the line. My only problem, though, is they seem to only be targeting those who've come across the southern border. Now, there are a lot of illegal or undocumented that have come on airplanes, say from China and Europe, and those have not been targeted. They have papers to come here, they got visas, and then overstay the visa, and nobody seems to be crying about them. It's just those that come across the southern border. So there you have it. It's going to get more interesting from there. So we'll see. I had another discussion today. Sounds like what the German and Jewish people did to each other when Hitler was in power. Yeah, James, that's about right. That is about right. That's the stuff they did to each other. Unfortunately, I don't know where this is going, but I hate that, there's going to be a lot of people caught up in this that don't deserve to be caught up in it, like some of the kids the kids that might have been here 5 or 10 years and don't know anything about being in another country. That's the kind of thing that kind of bugs me a bit. You know, there's kids that's literally been here, that was born here, and they intend to strip them of any claim to citizenship, you know, because their parents weren't citizens. Now, as we know it, that was never the condition before, but with this Supreme Court, we could probably see that coming down the road. Anyway, also, a man by the name of Scott Bessent has been named Treasury Secretary. So we got Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary. Pete Hegseth is now the Secretary of Defense. He can't single-handedly change the Constitution and deem birthright citizens as illegals. Well, the problem here seems to be he feels like he can do anything. And he has been stripping out all of the mechanisms that were in place to stop him from doing anything. Yeah, it's happening in the good old USA. He's fired all of the inspector generals and practically all of the federal agencies. The inspector generals are the ones who find the fraud inside the government. They're the ones who prosecute cases inside the government. He's fired them. He's put in a Justice Department that he just fired all of Jack Smith's lawyers from the Justice Department. Now, these are people that worked for the Justice Department for years through different presidents, and he's just fired them. Yeah, Ronnie, the entire administration is yes, it's getting turned upside down. Absolutely. They've also, just in case you hadn't heard, instructed the CDC and the Surgeon General and those folks to stop issuing any reports on what's going on health-wise across the nation. So the hospitals aren't getting any information, and the health agencies aren't getting any information. So there could be all kind of outbreaks, and it's a good chance we may not find out anything about it. So there's that. So I'm going to play this clip right here because I thought it was interesting. And this is about the state of capitalism in America. This is an example of collateral damage of capitalism. You say it may change by the 1st of February. So they may start issuing guidance on health situations by the 1st of February. That would be cool if they did. After you all let me know about it, Ronnie, I checked it out, and they said until they've been reviewed by administration officials. And they haven't, I don't think they have the administration officials in place yet that they want to do the reviewing. So we'll see. I certainly hope you're right, because that's scary. That's scary that they will tell them not to issue any reports. Yes. Yeah, Ronnie, all hospitals, yeah, at the mercy of the information. Yeah, because if you can't get it, you know, you don't have any idea what you may be facing down the road. You know, you get a large group of people all of a sudden start rushing the hospital, and you haven't been given any warning that there's something going on. You know, what hospital is prepared for something like that going on? And that just shows you these people don't care. These people don't care. You'd have to be crazy to issue an order like that. And hey, James, I don't think RFK has been confirmed yet, or has he? Has he been confirmed? Because I'm not aware of it, because I wasn't looking all the time. And if he has, maybe he will show us some mercy and let that information out. But have a look at this video. Have a look at this. I thought this was kind of sad. Not yet, but soon. Okay, gotcha. I thought this was interesting. Got it off social media. And I actually have seen situations like this and thought this was crazy. Check it out.
So I'm sitting here in a parking lot, and I want to put this into perspective. I am putting makeup on, which is why I am in this parking lot. Now, I've also come to realize that I can sleep in this parking lot, and it's incredibly safe. So I will be back here tonight. And the reason I find it to be safe is because there are multiple cars with families living in them. So here I am in a parking lot where I am realizing I will come back and sleep because I am houseless. There are nothing but porta potties, and there are multiple families living in their cars. That is disturbing enough. That is capitalism in America. I can promise you these families, somebody in these cars works, because you have no idea how expensive it is to be houseless in America. You have no idea, especially with children. Next to me on the other side is a man that just pulled up in a pickup truck and has been sitting there for 5 minutes, and he is pounding Bud Lights. He must be on number 12 by now. Ironically, I can relate to him pounding Bud Lights on a Monday morning before 9 a.m. just as much as I can relate to the families living in parked cars in a vacant parking lot. Because this is America, and this is systemic. Because if you can't cope, there's going to be an addiction to help you cope so you can continue to go to work. And if you can't cope and you can't pay those bills, well, they'll have a parking lot somewhere for you to live. Use a porta potty, keep your family together, but you best believe you'll still go to work and get that minimum wage. We need to start talking about this.
Yeah. Now, the reason that caught me and caught my attention was because I just so happened to have seen this gentleman, Scott Bessent, asked a few questions during his confirmation hearing. And I'm going to show you one of the questions he was asked. He was asked a question by Bernie Sanders, and this is the man who was confirmed this evening to be Treasury Secretary. And this is what he thought. Have a look.
Right now in America, we have over 22 million workers who are making less than $15 an hour, and nearly 40 million people in our country earning less than $17 an hour. Shamefully, the federal minimum wage, despite the efforts of myself and other people here, have not been raised since 2009 and remains an unbelievable $7.25 an hour. Will you work with those of us who want to raise the federal minimum wage to a living wage to take millions of Americans out of poverty?
Senator, I believe that the minimum wage is more of a statewide and regional issue.
So you don't think we should change the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour?
No, sir.
Okay.
Now that's your new Treasury Secretary. That's the new Treasury Secretary right there, who thinks, $7.25 is plenty. $7.25. You can live on $7.25 today. That is crazy. He doesn't think the federal minimum wage should be any higher than $7.25 in 2025. Now, we know that most people are making more than that because, let's face it, it would be, it'd be hard as hell to even care about getting out of the bed to go somewhere for that. But understand, a company can hire you for that and keep you at that. That's crazy. I don't get it. The greed, the plain greed in America. That's capitalism. Work the hell out of you and don't pay you nothing. And these are the people coming into power. So, man, gotta tell you, glad I'm retired. Because it ain't going good. It's not going good for the working man. Now, one thing that is good, union participation has been on the rise. Hopefully that can continue. If that continues, we might have a chance. Especially if some of us, go out and stand with the unions when they, go out on strike or something. But most of the unions have been actually making some headway, As a matter of fact, who was it recently? I think Boeing. Just went back to work. I think they had walked out for a minute and they just got a good contract. So there's more union participation going on, and also, just so people know, that's how you get companies to pay more. Is when the union wage go up, the other companies, they have to come on with it, That's usually how it goes. Union wages go up, then the surrounding companies in the area, they have to compete with the wages that the unions are getting. That's how you get higher wages, without the help of the feds. Because apparently the Fed don't care if your ass don't get nothing. Okay? That much is, especially this group of feds coming in. So, yeah. Unfortunately, too, one thing that's unfortunate is we're going to have to deal with this mess before anything can be changed about something like the minimum wage. You know, I hope that some of you took it to heart to think about going out and trying on some body armor. That is good insurance. And getting some survivalist food, because with this clown's recent fight with the Colombians, the price of coffee spiked. And because, from what I understand, there is another form of bird flu that has popped out, and now the price of eggs have spiked. What do you say, James? Some damn good insurance. Yeah, I agree. The reason I mentioned that is just because you should probably check it out. You know, I'm advocating. Now, if you don't get a gun, don't worry. I ain't telling you to go out and get a gun, but I would advise getting some body armor, because they got some really soft stuff now that you wear under your clothes. It's pretty good. But yeah, those prices are spiking, and Mr. Vice President, I forgot his name, J.D. Vance, he was on this weekend. What's that? Eggs at Walmart. It's $5. $5 a dozen. Well, but wasn't Trump supposed to bring that down? Yeah, Mr. Vance this weekend said they're not gonna be able to do it. Now, I would be pissed. Pretty expensive butt nuggets. Lisa, you sick. You always mess me up, man. That's funny. You know, I ain't gonna never be able to forget that now. Butt nuggets. Some places eggs are $12. Damn. Well, you know. Now here's the deal. Okay, check this out. I'm gonna tell you how I beat that. Let me explain to you Jeff's plan for inflationary times. When I walk into a store and the eggs are $5, I think I'm not having eggs. See, here's how this works. And the reason I know this is because I apply this to buying ribs. I love a good, well-cooked rib. And I like to cook ribs. Now, I walk into the store and I see a slab of ribs, some plain old ribs, for $20-25 for a slab. I look at that set of ribs and I walk on by. You know, walk on by, you know, and all of a sudden, you know, hey, 2-3 weeks later, I'm walking by and there's a manager special and there's ribs for $8-9 a slab. Now, $8-9 a slab, I think I can eat some ribs, you know. But that's how I eat ribs. Now, if they never come down, I'm not eating ribs. Imagine how bad it's going to be when the bird flu mutates and infects other animals. Ronnie, I can't, Again, check this out. I should have had one with me. Next time, Wednesday, I'm going to show you. Go to a farm, buy some wild chickens, problem solved. Well, Charles, I think the place you buy the are chickens at a farm considered wild? 6 eagles have died. Wow. Now that's jacked up. But hey, Charles, if it's bird flu and it starts spreading, it's a good chance you may not find any chickens. And as Ronnie just said, if it's spreading to other animals, that ain't good. That is not good. Which also brings me back to those sustainable meal packages. And I should have had one, because I do have some. I've been buying them for quite some time. They have protein in them, meat products in them, and they last for like 25 years. I would start buying some. One of the best ones that I know of is Mountain House. You can buy that. They have several brands at the camping and, sporting goods stores. Check them out. I would stock up with maybe, you can get like, I know at Cabela's, they have a bucket that has 12. Let's see. 3, 6, I think that has 12 2-portion meals. I think for $99 or something. $100. And while that may seem expensive, it is something I would have just in case, Was it 12 or 24? I can't remember. It was 12 or 24. But that's something I would keep. Some of those, they call them doomsday prepper meals, because if this flu is starting to affect other animals, that ain't gonna look good. And mind you, when bird flu hits a farm that, let's say a chicken farm, they have to kill them all. So, of course. And guess what? Now, is it me or my imagination that the bird flu always seems to pop up around playoff time and Super Bowl time? Is it me, or is that, a thing? Because all of a sudden, the price of chicken wings is sky high for the Super Bowl. Now maybe that's the conspiracy theorist in me. I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Also, I saw something else today that was really funny to me. You got to check this out. There was a cruise. I just play it. This This was kind of funny.
Now to the stunning images from a cruise ship being described as a big misunderstanding. It's the shocking moment on board an Australian cruise ship going viral. A passenger capturing a tug-of-war contest among the crew on this cruise off the coast of Tasmania. Different ship departments dressing in festive costumes. The housekeeping crew choosing these costumes, reminiscent of Ku Klux Klan robes. Passengers stunned, some dubbing it the KKK cruise.
No one can seriously think that was their intention. Our housekeeping crew were dressed as snow cones.
A spokesperson for the cruise line says the housekeeping staff didn't have much to work with when it came to materials for a costume, so they decided to dress as upside-down snow cones.
It was only a very short time they were on the pool deck in those outfits before management saw them.
The cruise line says the crew members were unfamiliar with the KKK and were horrified when told what their costumes looked like.
Our crew are from different cultures all over the world. They're young and they had just never heard of that organisation. They had no idea. They were horrified.
The cruise line has since apologized.
I thought that was funny. You know, I believe that they didn't even think about the KKK when they did that. I believe the story that they thought they were looking like upside down snow cones. I don't think that was their rendition of the KKK. You know, I'm gonna go with what the spokesperson said. I just thought that was a funny tidbit to throw in the midst of the bad news. You know. So check this out. Go ahead. Stock up on something. Some canned goods or something. Because you know, with this bird flu stuff and this second strain that's been popped out, I would go and stock up on something, you know, and be safe. Be safe. So anyway, I'm going to move on and I'm going to turn to some investing right now. Just a little bit. I want to explore one thing. Oh, I just got hit with a thought. While I am not a crypto investor, I don't know anything about crypto. I did an experiment today. I don't know if you've heard of it, but there are AI models that you can use to help do things. I have been venturing into AI lately just for my own knowledge. I don't know how many of you have tried AI, but AI is really helpful and it is very interesting to communicate with. The first time I communicated with AI, it was through Chat GPT. If you are not familiar with it, look it up. Go on the website. You can actually download Chat GPT to your cell phone, if you know, for you cell phone types. Also, China just came out with a new model that's called DeepSeek. 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 I tried it today. That AI model is crazy. It will help you. You know, you can just toss it a problem to solve. And if you got problems or if you need to know how something, if you, what I did today, now, I've dealt with ChatGPT before. Oh, man, I done got short on time. Anyway, I'll finish this. I got on ChatGPT before, and ChatGPT lags as far as analyzing stock. You know, I don't want to try and describe the shortfall, but there's a shortfall. I got on DeepSeek today and gave it a few prompts with a few technicals and asked it to come up with a cryptocurrency with potential to go up. And I asked it to give me 3 that were under $5. And that thing went in and generated a report for me and gave me 3 examples of cryptocurrencies under $5 that have large potential for growth, and gave me the reasons why and gave me all the information. And that blew me away. So I was like, wow. So I tried it with a couple of other stocks as well. And if you want to try that, I would suggest you try it. Now, that is only for, information. It's for potential things to invest in. So one of those I picked out, and while I'm late in the episode, maybe Wednesday, we'll go on. I'll stop running my mouth sooner, and we'll go on the investing platform, and we're going to pick out a stock to purchase. I think I'm going to put in a buy order, and I'm going to look up this crypto, and I'm going to put in a buy order for that just as a speculation play. Because sometimes I would do a pure speculation play just for the hell of it. I'm going to put a few bucks in and just leave it. Just for the hell of it. I'm going to show you what I get, and we're going to track it. Okay? Because I thought that it was pretty interesting that this AI program literally gave me exactly what I asked for. That was something else. I also asked it about the future of the United States. And unfortunately, a lot of these AI models, the information that they have is usually not up to today's date. That particular one, I think the information was only up to July of 24. So, but the answers it gave me were spot on. But this one didn't recognize Trump as being the president today, so. But man, I was really impressed with it. That is something also that you should check out. Check out ChatGPT or DeepSeek. Look it up. I just found out earlier, a friend of mine was trying to download, I think, DeepSeek, and there was a problem downloading it or getting the code to send back. And as it turns out, they were in the midst of somebody trying to hack them. So they shut off letting the app be downloaded on the phones. So whoever was trying to hack them didn't get into people's phones. So, but check it out. I'm going to continue to work with them because it is really interesting and informative, and it really will help you. And you can ask these things almost anything, and the answers you get will blow your mind. So, since I did all that talking, what I'm going to do is close it out here. And Wednesday, I'm going to stop sooner. We're going to get on the investment platform, and I'm going to put in a buy order and show how that's done. I'm going to go over some fundamentals, and I think I might put in a buy order for one of these cryptos just for the heck of it as a speculation move. And you'll be able to watch that. So there. At any rate, as usual, if you feel like sending me something in the email, there that is. And I'm going to call it good right here. As always, I appreciate y'all spending this time with me. Hope y'all stay healthy and safe. Look into that sustainable food. We might need it. On that note, y'all take it easy. Talk to you later.